Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I am making another set of mini one sheet wonders number 2. I'm starting off with a sheet of 6x6 paper that I am cutting 1 inch off of. Then from that remaining piece I'm going to rotate and cut it in half so that I have 2 pieces that are 3 inch by 5. From one of those, I'll cut in half so that I get 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 3. And this last piece here, which is 3 inches tall by 5, there is a diagonal cut here. So I'm measuring 1 inch down from the upper right-hand corner, and then I'll measure 1 inch up from the bottom left corner. And when I go to cut this piece, I am going to connect those 2 tick marks to give me a slightly more interesting angled cut. So all you want to do is just line up those 2 marks on your trimmer, your cutting blade. If you're using maybe a ruler and craft knife, that would work too. I'm using the Rotary media trimmer, and that gives us that really interesting cut. And then that very first strip, I'm just going to trim that down to 5.5. So we'll end up using everything, and that is all the cutting that we need to do. Okay, so I've got my card base here, which measures 4.25 by 5.5, and I am going to bring in some additional pattern papers from the Cat Scrappiness Quokka Coffee paper pad. That's where I got the original first sheet of paper too, and I am going to cut that to match my card base, so 4.25 by 5.5. And then I will start to layer everything else on top of this. Now, in my first card, I had created a matte layer for the other half of this angled cut. And so I am just going to use that bit that's left over. It's not exactly big enough to go all the way around, but I'm still going to work with it. And I think in the end, it actually looks kind of interesting. So I might do that more intentionally next time because I'm actually using it more like a shadow layer where it's just offset a little bit. And from this is basically the reverse from that first card that I made. So I've actually flipped. On the first card, I used the opposite side of that angle cut, and I used the opposite side of the rectangle. And it was actually, for that card, I made that a landscape oriented card. And so this one, just because of the way that the cups are facing, I will make this one a portrait orientation. And that's one of the reasons why I recommend with my mini one sheet wonders that you choose your double-sided paper so that at least one side of it is non-directional. That way you do have the freedom and flexibility to use both sides on a single card and have a little bit more interest, for one. And second, when you flip, or just depending on where the cuts land and how they're used on the sketch, it might make more sense to use it in the portrait orientation, and sometimes it'll make more sense to use it in the landscape orientation. And it helps that if you have one side that is directional, like the coffee cups here, if the back side is non-directional, it just makes it so much easier to mix and match the pieces together. And then this sketch didn't originally have the little banner flag. It was actually the third sketch that had the banner flag, but I thought it looked cute, so I wanted to add it to this one. And Since everything else on this, all the other pattern papers, besides that first one that I put down, which covered the entire card base, everything else has this matte layer of the dark brown. So I decided to add a matte layer to the little fishtail banner as well. But I'm making it a little bit more like the other bit of pink that's on here, where it's offset so that it just looks more like a shadow layer instead of a matte layer that goes all the way around all sides. And so that basically makes up the layout of the sketch as it's shown in my cutting guide, which you can get if you want. It's available online. And if you're a channel member, you can get it for free. If you aren't a channel member, it's only $1.50 to download it, and then you can use it as many times as you'd like. Now, for my focal image, I have a cup from the Cup of Love die set. This cup, what I've done is I've actually cut it out of one of the pattern papers that is in the paper collection as well. And what I did was I took a sentiment stamp from another set, and I used the same die to cut this out. And that way it fits and it layers on perfectly on the bottom of the cup. I just wanted it to seem as if it was maybe a design that was printed on the cup. And so I thought that would be kind of cute way to sneak a sentiment onto the card. And then I'm also going to bring in this adorable quokka from the Coffee Quokka stamp set. And it does have a coordinating die set as well, which I love because I'm not the best at fussy cutting. And he's super cute. So I've got him all colored up, but he's also holding a little coffee cup, which I think is adorable. And I made sure to color the coffee cup in pink just to bring in a little bit more of the pink, since the cup itself is blue. Although I think I could have colored it in teal, and that might have looked nice as well. Lots of different options because there's a lot of different colors on the pattern paper that has all the coffee cups on it. And I put a little bit of 3D glue gel just behind the handle of the cup because that area there, it's hanging off of the mats and layers of that square section. And then as a finishing touch, I just added some Nuvo drops to break up the all those angles a little bit more, and just add a little bit more of that teal into the pink areas. And there's a look at my final card. I hope that you enjoyed it. I have one more sketch to go for this set of mini One Sheet Wonders number 2. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.